I'm Kiara.
I'm Jasmine.
We're singing A Song of Fandom.
And today we're talking about A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas.
It is the second book. So we'll tell you a bit about the series if you haven't read it. It's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast with a bit of a twist. Feyre is a human.
There is a wall between their realm and the Fae realm.
Yes.
She becomes involved in the Fae world. They're under a curse. There's an evil person who's in charge, and basically it's her coming up against that force.
It's very cool. So if you haven't read it, go check out the first book. Now we'll be discussing the second book. Non-spoilery.
This one carries on from the first book. So Feyre has returned back to the Spring Court with Tamlin. She's pretty messed up, obviously. She's having trouble sleeping. She's got post-traumatic stress. She's broken. And she knows that she's broken, and she's not sure if she's ever going to be the same again. And Tamlin is also broken. Yeah, he wants to keep her safe.
Yeah, and then you see this whole issue with Rhysand, him coming back, the deal with him and the 1 week and a month, and you see all that play out. So Rhysand leaves her alone for the first 3 months, which it's
like a reprieve.
Yeah.
She's relieved, and then you see kind of tension building because she doesn't want to be contained anymore. She doesn't want to be locked up and kept as a prisoner in her own home, and you see how that kind of reverberates through the entire book.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So go check it out because now we're heading into the spoilery section. Spoilery section. So much to talk
when
about.
Feyre decides that, or when Feyre is having trouble deciding whether she's going to be able to say yes to Tamlin at her wedding.
Rhysand crashes it.
He calls in his end of the bargain, basically.
Yeah.
And she obviously was torn. She wasn't sure if she was going to say yes. She wasn't sure if she could say yes. She didn't really have much say in terms of what was happening at the wedding. She didn't really care. And she gets taken, and she's kind of dead. She's not hunting. She's not using her bow and arrow. She's not painting. She can't paint.
Yeah, so and the people that she loves and the people that she's drawn near to in the first book, she's being pushed away from them because Tamlin's gone and Lucian's he's standing up to him, but not enough for him to actually allow Feyre out of the house.
She gets taken away by Rhysand, and he kind of ignites the life back in her and helps her to kind of start experiencing again. And so this goes on for a while with her spending a weekend every month with him until the big event in a way where Tamlin locks her inside the house and won't let her leave.
The build up in her character during the first bit, she's very traumatized, and she's having these dreams, and there's certain rooms in the house which she can't even go into, and then he just locks her in there. So she's freaking out, and she's got all these powers from the High Lords, and he's not helping her, and they're ignoring this issue.
And also the fact that she spent a lot of the last book locked up, trapped in under the mountain.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
She is struggling with that, and she doesn't know how to deal with being locked up again, and she wants to be free to come and go. So she gets rescued by Rhysand's cousin Morrigan, which is a great character. We see how Rhysand has been kind of playing everyone, how he has hidden his true court and he's
so nice.
Where he actually cares about from the world, basically, for the last 500 years. And so his city of dreams as opposed to the city of nightmares. And you kind of see a new side to him in that he is fiercely protective of the good in his land and the good people in his land. And you also see his court for the first time, and his second in command and that sort of thing. Right. And they're all amazing characters in their own right. You've got Amren, who is the second in command.
She's crazy.
I'm not entirely sure what she is.
You don't know what she is.
She's something in the body of a high fae.
she's from before, and she's like from a different land, and you're like...
And she is hugely powerful. She likes hoarding jewels and stuff like that as
and
well.
she...
So there is indication that she could be some kind of dragon
She
or
has to drink
drake or
blood.
something like that.
But she also obviously has emotions.
And then you have Morrigan, who is a very powerful fae, and she was born in the court of nightmares, and the family tried to marry her off, and obviously she did not like that. That was not something that she wanted, so she kind of made her own path and has been shunned because of it.
She's this happy kind of, probably appears the most carefree out of the court, but she's obviously been through a lot, and the story she tells, it's good, and you can kind of see how she'll play a part further on in the books as well. They're setting her up to be she's a very powerful character.
And then Cassian and Azrael, who are the Illyrian warriors,
yes.
and they are pretty great. They're just the humour they bring, and they're very opposite, but they work together so well, and yeah, it's just really nice having that perspective and that relationship between them and Rhysand, and the camaraderie they have with Feyre and teaching her to fight, and the strength that they have as well. It's just really good to kind of have a look at other races of Fae, as opposed to the High Fae, which is what you'd mostly seen in the first book.
Yeah, and you definitely see how they've, Rhysand always fights for the underdogs from his upbringing, kind of with his mother. So you also see a bit of his history and how he got to know those two, and how they were also shunned by their own type, and so he brought them in, and it's kind of his little court of misfits, but it works beautifully. We have Rhysand.
Yeah, himself, or Rhys.
Yeah.
And the story, the relationship that develops between him and Feyre is just beautiful, because at the beginning he's a rock for her, he's a shoulder for her to cry on,
he lets her do what she wants as well, though.
He's kind of like a constant in her life, and he doesn't change as such. And yeah, the relationship that builds between them, and in the end, obviously, ends up with him revealing that they are mated.
So different from what happened between her and Tamlin, and I think it's because of her growth and because of her character development, which we'll talk about later, it's he's the person she needs.
They're very complementary.
Yeah.
And he allows her the freedom that she wasn't getting.
Yeah, and you see how his flirting and his opposition to her, and his forcing her not into things, forcing her to extend her powers and explore the powers that she's been given by the High Lords. It's just making her grow as a person as well, and it's just pushing her further to be a stronger and more not powerful, but a more truer sense of herself as well.
Yeah, her character development throughout the book is really beautiful, and the way that she grows and just takes ownership of herself and who she is, and that sort of thing is just really good to read. Because you see,
so in the first book, obviously she's struggling to survive at the start, and then you see her get broken at the end, and so you're kind of
it's her building back up again.
And becoming more than she even was in the first book, which is brilliant. And you see how even though she's been downtrodden, and even though she's had all these things in her life, she can still find joy and love.
And I guess you see another side of Tamlin as well, in that you see how possessive and how deep his dislike and hate of Rhysand and the Night Court is rooted, in that he doesn't believe that Feyre could have run off by herself, and wanted to leave him. That's just a completely weird concept to him. Instead, it has to be something that has been done to her. And that's shown throughout when it's revealed that he's working with the enemy, and that he is the one who has enabled this bad stuff to happen, and shown how deluded he is, and how he has different ideas about how the world is working and stuff like that, and how he perhaps doesn't see himself and his actions very clearly if he's condoning the taking over of the human world so that he can get Feyre back, when he knows that she was a human and she would not think that was a good idea at all.
Yeah. The end scene. The end scene. Like, oh my gosh,
scene where
it's
they've
beautiful.
got the pieces of the book, and Veritas has been attacked and destroyed because of the betrayal of the mortal queens. So they've got both pieces of the book. They're going to try and deactivate the cauldron. Obviously it doesn't work because the book is very powerful in itself, and it causes Feyre to put it together. King Hybern manages to capture them all, and obviously then brings out Feyre's sisters to prove to the mortal queens that the cauldron can be used to give them immortality. And Feyre's sisters being turned immortal, that was, like, in a way it was cool, because you're like, well, now they're going to be able to spend eternity with each other and you know, work through their relationship with each other, which had been strained. And then you have Lucian, who discovered that Elaine was his true mate, and
yeah, but then you see Nesta, and she's not, like, the way that it's described in the book, she's not exactly Fae, is she?
Not
what
exactly.
Is she? Like,
yeah, because obviously she is very strong of mind, so who knows what she managed to do while in the cauldron. And so by the end of it, obviously Feyre has gone back with Tamlin to the Spring Court as basically a spy for the Night Court.
Because she's the Night Court's High Lady.
Sort of tricked Tamlin into thinking that she wants to go back with him, even though she's much more powerful than him now, so I suppose she doesn't have to worry about what he could possibly do to her, and now she's got leverage over Lucian because her sister is his true mate.
And you think that her and Rhysand's mate bond has been broken, so it's pretty upsetting. And then you find out the reason. He's like, no, they didn't break it, and they broke the bond, but they didn't break the mating bond, which is pretty intense because they still have this connection and they can still talk to each other. And it's like she's got the upper hand, and it's a great turnaround from the start of the book and the end of the first one, and it's going to be really exciting to see where it goes. So this has been our review for A Court of Mist and Fury. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos, and let us know if you've read the book and what you thought about it. Yeah, let us know your opinion. Goodbye! Bye.